The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, I've been telling y'all what's been going on in northern Syria and how ever since last weekend when Donald Trump had that talk with Turkish President Recep Erdogan, he actually ordered U.S. troops to stand down from their support of Kurdish forces, allowing Turkey to actually come in and invade northern Syria. And they've been doing just that for the past 5 days. 130,000 people have actually been displaced. The Syrian Human Rights Observatory actually reported that at least 9 Kurdish civilians have actually been murdered, including a prominent political leader and Secretary General of the Future Syria Party, Hevrin Khalaf, who was actually killed with her driver this past Saturday. Now, since then, Bashar al-Assad's Syrian government has actually reached a deal with the Kurdish forces, and they've been massing Syrian troops at the northern border, the border that's shared between Turkey and Syria. So hoping to back them down. Now check this out though. The New York Times is reporting that, well, first off, Kurdish authorities are reporting that 785 Islamic State related people have actually been released from the Kurdish-controlled displacement camp that they have. So they haven't been able to keep track of them. The New York Times is reporting that 5 dozen highly valued Islamic State members haven't been kept track of and properly deported out of the country by the United States. You also have Kurdish forces, Turkish forces that is saying that they've actually neutralized, quote-unquote, 500 quote-unquote terrorists, but they often refer to the Kurds as terrorists. So, it's a fucking zoo up there, a lot of bloodshed, and we'll see what happens. I mean, France and Germany have stopped exporting arms to Turkey. A lot of this is like international condemnation against Turkey for their invasion, and people calling for a European Union-wide embargo against Turkey. Keep in mind though, President Erdogan of Turkey, he's actually scheduled to come to the United States next month. So we'll see what this turns into though. You know what I'm saying? I had to use this as a long post. This is the longest post that we've ever done for a BFN report, but it's very necessary because this is war. Our motto, green, war, and graduation. We'll do the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Make sure you sign my petition, y'all. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find change.org, link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, or go straight to change.org and look it up. Now, check this out, though. Donald Trump was actually speaking at a campaign rally in Minnesota, basically, saying that shit that people want to hear, whatever, like, it's time we bring our troops home. We were supposed to be in Syria for 30 days, and we've been there for 10 years. We were supposed to be in Afghanistan for a short period of time. Now it's 19 years. It's time to bring them home. Less than 24 hours from that speech, the Pentagon announces that they're deploying 1,800 additional troops to Saudi Arabia. I guess to possibly deal with the static that has seemed self-induced, but with the static that's exists between Saudi Arabia, the United States, and Iran. We'll see what this turns into, man. Sounds like more bloodshed, though. And we got to report on it because our motto, green, war, and graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So the New York Times is actually reporting that Russia has committed what is essentially a war crime. It is a war crime to intentionally or recklessly bomb hospitals. And apparently in Syria, on May 5th and May 6th, in a 12-hour period, Russian warplanes are found to have bombed 4 hospitals. Now, even worse than that, between April and September, they've actually bombed 50 hospitals and clinics that were actually controlled by opposition-held, the opposition group Idlib. The opposition-held Idlib province. You know what I'm saying? It was held by rebels, people who were opposing Bashar al-Assad, the president of, or who runs the Syrian government, who's actually backed by Russia. So this is looked at as pretty crazily, and who knows what that'll translate into or how that plays into what's going on today with the Kurds and what's going on with the U.S. and Turkey, and Russia is involved in that too. We'll see how this pans out. Green, war, and graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So a federal appeals court ruled that Trump actually must comply with the House of Representatives, or one of the House of Representative committees subpoenas to actually turn over 8 years of his financial records. And this actually affirms what was ruled by a lower court. And, you know, they then went to a higher court to try to appeal it. Well, so much for that. But Trump has already said that he's not going to comply with the impeachment inquiry or anything like that, including turning over his financial record. So they obviously going to pry it out of his hands or get it over his dead body. Green War and graduation, though. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So at in Miami at a conference for Trump supporters, the New York Times is reporting that there was a video that was broadcast to these motherfuckers that basically shows Donald Trump, or fake Donald Trump, you know, shooting a number of people who actually had like their faces replaced with like media logos or whatever. Then he like this fake Trump assaults Maxine Waters, the Democratic Congress member for California, then hits Barack Obama in the back, or fake Barack Obama in the back, and then is supposed to like light Bernie Sanders' head on fire, like some goofy shit. It's just like, yo, how low can these Trump supporters go, man? Because at the end of the day, everybody can't be lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all think that everybody is fake news media except for people that agree with Trump all the time. Like, that's some dick riding shit. No cap. Like, Green War and graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. 2 points of news in one post. First off, Shepard Smith of Fox News is actually resigned from his post. He was an anchor that actually one of the few people that actually, you know, kind of go against Trump at times. You know what I'm saying? He called out some of the lies and, you know, skepticism and the xenophobia and all of that. Like, so, you know, that happened, but fuck him. He's still Fox News, white Fox News pundit, you digs? But check this out, though. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, Joe Biden being the former vice president to Barack Obama and presidential candidate for 2020 for the Democrat side, his son Hunter Biden actually stepped down from a board of a Chinese company that he served on, BHR, amidst these calls, public calls for Trump, from Trump to the Ukrainian leaders and Chinese leaders to investigate into Hunter Biden's company, which is illegal, by the way, but still brought the heat on him. You ask me, that's some snitch shit. One, because Trump definitely ain't clean on that front. But two, it does make you wonder. I mean, he did have to say Sunday that if his father was elected, he would not serve on any foreign boards and all of that. But it's like, well, why are you serving on them boards anyway? Green War and graduation. Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. This be the type of shit that be boiling niggas' blood, yo. Because at the end of the day, these police officers are trained all types of wrong, especially it seems like in Texas, Fort Worth, Texas. There's apparently been 6 people since June that have been killed by the police department. Now, this latest one is the killing of 28-year-old Tatiana Jefferson. Now, neighbors had actually called in for a non-emergency wellness check after seeing that her door was open, and they knew that the neighbor knew that apparently that she'd be in there with her nephew. Now, she was in there with her 8-year-old nephew playing video games. Officer comes up to the car, basically comes up to the house, pardon me, basically yells through the window to put the hands up, and then immediately shoots her after seeing like some movement. There's actually footage out there of like a body cam, and it's just fucking sad, man. Like, yo, throw the whole department away. Green War and graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So on Saturday, through central and eastern Japan, experts say that one of the worst storms to ever hit Japan in 60 years, the worst storm to ever hit Japan in 60 years, took place, leaving record levels of rain and causing 25 rivers to burst outside of their banks. Typhoon Hagibis is what it was called by, and apparently there's at least 40 people dead and a dozen still missing. So, you know, keep those Japanese people over there in your prayers and your positive thoughts and all of that. Green War and graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, I keep telling y'all If no one else has told y'all, I'll be the one to tell you. But I've told, our followers multiple times, like, don't let anybody tell you that protesting don't change anything. That's a lie. It's just a straight up lie. And here's another example of when it does change something. I've been telling y'all about how indigenous people and just, regular civilians alike over in Ecuador have actually been protesting for the last 2 weeks, hitting the streets by the thousands, protesting against Lenin Moreno, the president, his decision to actually accept the International Monetary Fund loan for $4.2 billion under the austerity condition that they would actually remove these fuel subsidies that actually caused the fuel prices to hike 120%. So people were shutting everything down, like bus lines and certain roads and all of that shit. Like, people was just not fucking having it. Well, government, after a publicly televised negotiation between the Ecuadorians and the indigenous people, the government has actually withdrawn their acceptance of that loan. You know what I mean? But keep in mind though, 7 people died from these protests. At least 2,000 people were actually either arrested or wounded. So shit got real, but the people win at the end of the day. At least they got what they want. Green War and Graduation. For the New World Order, Bishop Grady Lane. Y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report. Over in Uganda, Africa, LGBT activists are actually bracing themselves to actually have to fight against this law that makes it homosexuality punishable by death. The quote-unquote kill the gays law was actually introduced in 2014 and passed as a law, but it was actually annulled by due to a constitutional technicality. So the courts had annulled it, but now people, government officials are seemingly trying to reintroduce it. I'm as straight as they come, you feel me? But it don't seem like people should be persecuted for being LGBTs. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We'll see what this turns out to be. Hopefully, humanity will prevail. Green War and Graduation. For the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report. Damn, y'all can't even see me out this bitch though. As long as y'all can still hear me, shit, I guess. But I'm gonna let y'all know what's happening still though. Over in Tunisia, in Africa, Kais Saied, Professor Saied, is actually poised to be the next president of the country. Since yesterday's election polls show him winning by a landslide over his opponent, who was like this multi-millionaire TV mogul who actually ended up being arrested for money laundering, and who had been arrested prior, arrested for money laundering as well as tax fraud. Doesn't that sound familiar, right? But so he ran on the platform of anti-corruption. He actually drafted the post-Arab Spring legislation for Tunisia. So he's looked at as kind of like the good guy, running on anti-corruption and all of that. Some people criticize him though, his conservative views, somewhat conservative views, since he's against like equal inheritance for men and women, and is thinking about bringing back the death penalty. So I don't know, but a lot of people are celebrating this man being president. Green War and Graduation. News reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report. So the Supreme Court of Spain actually sentenced 9 Catalan separatist leaders to 9 to 13 years in prison for their leadership in the Catalan separatist movement. Now their movement actually started in 2017 after an independence referendum and after Catalonia's declaration of independence, but a lot of people were arrested and then charged with rebellion, including these 9. So that's unfortunately how that cookie crumbled. But hopefully, again, humanity will prevail. Hopefully they don't have to do all of that fucking time. They was just standing up for what they feel like is theirs, their humanity and their autonomy. Green War and Graduation. Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report. WikiLeaks found that Julian Assange actually appeared by video link in London court on Friday. Now he's actually it was a brief court hearing, but they're deciding on whether they should actually extradite him to the United States, where he faces 18 counts of law breaking, including violating the Espionage Act, a rare thing for, somebody who could be considered to be a journalist, as well as conspiracy to hack onto government computers. Now, the full extradition hearing is supposed to take place in February, so we got some time, man. So if y'all a fan of WikiLeaks or a fan of that man, definitely want to keep him in your thoughts and positive thoughts and prayers and all of that. Greenwald and graduate. Streets report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So, yesterday actually, Simone Biles, world-renowned gymnast, African-American shorty who's actually been putting on heavy for U.S. gymnastics, actually won her 24th and 25th medals, becoming the most decorated gymnast in U.S. history. Arguably the greatest gymnast of all time, some may say. So, shouts out to her. She even said something that showed that she was still critical of winning for an organization that seems to have failed her. Because keep in mind that Larry Nassar used to be the doctor for the U.S. gymnastics team, and he's currently facing crazy numbers in jail due to him sexually assaulting 160 girls who he's actually had to doctor in U.S. gymnastics. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like shame on them. In all of that winning, it seems like the girls are doing for U.S. gymnastics. At least they had one job. They couldn't even protect them. So, fuck all that though. This is really about celebration. Shout out to Simone Biles. Greenwald and graduate. Streets report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Over 130 cities, states, and counties in the United States, with the latest one being Washington, D.C., are all recognizing Indigenous Peoples Day today. Fuck Columbus Day. That's it. You know what I'm saying? There's all sorts of ceremonies and honoring this. Even sunrise ceremonies in Randall's Island and Alcatraz or whatever, and then these prisons and all of that. So it's shit is real. Fuck Columbus Day. It's all about Indigenous Peoples Day. You know what I mean? Shout out to all of the natives. You know what I mean? A lot of whom were African. You know what I'm saying? Not talking about how we're all African, we're all from Africa. No. Talking about the motherfuckers that was actually here before the Europeans that, migrated from Africa. Some migrated from Asia as well. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother story. Do your homework and all of that. But shout out to all of the Native Americans, all the indigenous people, all throughout the Americas. You know what I mean? And rest in peace to those who didn't make it here due to racism. Greenwald and graduate.